my brothers and my sisters. What are we going to look at today? I'd like to share with you the last 12 years of my journey into spiritual work and meditation, and why wasn't that work enough to stop and prevent me from getting Parkinson's disease. First off, I'd like to ask you all, how many of you have tried meditation? How many of you are attracted to spiritual work? How many of you feel there's something deeper within inside of us, human beings, that is yet to be discovered? What brought you to spiritual work and meditation? You see, from my experience, it's not sunshine and roses that brings us to the spiritual journey. It's typically pain and suffering, some emotional disturbance, or something physically breaks down, and then we have to stop and think. So with that being said, I'd love to share the last 12 years of my spiritual journey with y'all. The realizations, the wins, and the things that still have me perplexed. It's a vast universe. So 12 years ago, I was definitely a busy boy. I had a full-time construction job. The Schmidt and the Rhythm Souls band was in full effect, rehearsing during the week and doing shows. My mom was living with me and I was taking care of her as she was dealing with her mental illness. And I had a girlfriend at the time, which added to the fun. So as you probably guessed, juggling all that became difficult for me. I started experiencing anxiety and depression, so I began to look for answers. I found a book by Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, teachings by Wayne Dyer, Deepak Chopra, and I even did a course that was called Attacking Anxiety and Depression by Lucinda Bassett. Just like anything that's come into my life, any challenge that I have to face, I typically dive in head first. And this wasn't my first run-in with depression and anxiety, but due to all the stress and the busy lifestyle, it seemed to step up the intensity a couple notches. So I was working all week, Monday through Friday, sometimes Saturdays and even sometimes Sundays, to make that extra ching-ching, to pay for the bills and to also save up for the music, doing records, studio time. So I was working like a madman and then playing hard on the weekends, either playing with the band or going out with my friends, drinking at the nightclubs, and then getting up Monday and doing it all over again. And up until that point, I was always able to put on a show, not let anyone know that something was bothering me on the inside. So on the outside, I looked pretty much okay. So I'm actually setting the stage for my first meditation. A couple nights prior to my first night of meditation, I had my girlfriend stay the night, and my mom was like this old school Catholic who found out and didn't like that. It was a whole fiasco. Pounding on the door, yelling, all kinds of stuff. Here I am, almost a full-grown man, paying the rent for my mom, and she's telling me what to do. So I was in a pickle within my thoughts. So now I'll explain the first night that I dove into a meditation. It was roughly 12 o'clock and I couldn't sleep. And my mom was blasting music upstairs and singing. She lived up on the 3rd floor and I lived up on the 2nd. And she was really in a tricky spot, drinking wine and not doing good mentally and emotionally at all. She was in and out of psych wards, and I was very concerned. So I had that going on. I couldn't sleep, and the music, and I had to get up for work the next day, and my mind was just polluted with negative thoughts. But I always felt there was something more and something powerful that we could tap into as human beings, and I believed in it. I got into like a cross-legged position. I'm not sure what I did with my hands. I think I just put my hands like this. I had all these thoughts dive bombing me. Why this? Why that? It shouldn't be like this. It shouldn't be like that. What if this? What if that? And one thing about me, up until that moment, I used to have a ferocious temper where I just get fired up and just get wild and do heavy boxing workouts, heavy like energy release. And so I thought about doing that at first. But I'm like, no, I'm gonna try this meditation thing. So this was a big moment for me. Instead of getting all aggro and fired up, which I thought was my masculine strength, I decided to try and go soft. And what also made it a big moment was that I had all these religious programs that were circulating in my mind, like the devil could be on the other side of meditation, or you might enter some weird land, from what I've heard others say. So with all those what if thoughts and negativity, the pressure in the head, and the fierceness of my willpower, that masculine charge energy literally just went I put up like a force field, it felt like, where no thoughts could enter. There was so much pressure and so much will and determination in that moment, and just boom. And I remember as I sat there with no thought and space for, gosh, I don't know, it felt like a half an hour to 45 minutes. I just sat there in space, and I remember certain thoughts would creep in and say, dude, you're gonna float off into the abyss of nothingness, this and that. And I just remembered, no, boom. I just held the space of meditation, and after a while of being in that space and not letting any thoughts come in, I slowly crawled back into my bed. And I remember I didn't want to, it was such a new experience for me that I just was like, okay, slowly creep into bed without thoughts, just try it. And I got into bed and I passed out and I slept the rest of the night. And that was my introduction into meditation. First time, first attempt, accomplished something, and I was like, what the heck was that? It's fascinating to me because I've done so many deep dives on spiritual teachers and meditation teachers, and I've heard so many different teachers say, well, you can't stop your thoughts, which wasn't the case with me, because I absolutely stopped my thoughts, and I still can do that for long periods of time. And to tell you the truth, it had to be done for me at that moment. So what kind of spiritual practices have I been doing the last 12 years? I've done cognitive replacement therapy. You have a negative thought, you replace it with a positive thought. And that can be exhausting after a while. Once you start paying attention to what's going on in your inner world, your inner thoughts, you realize that a lot of it's negative, and you're constantly trying to add a positive spin to everything, which, like I said, could be very tiring. And I did that for years. I've done tons of affirmation work. Affirmations are like power statements we're saying to the universe or to ourselves, to God. My favorite time to do affirmations is after I do like a explosive exercise, like let's say a 100-yard hill run. Once you get to the top and you're breathing hard and heavy, you just close your eyes, you smile with your body's energy, trying to bring a positive vibration. And you start saying these positive statements to God, yourself, the universe. Like, I am strong, I am loving. I'm so grateful for this moment, God, thank you. And I still do those on the regular. Matter of fact, I did those before I started this video. And I highly recommend that you guys try that for yourselves. I've done so many law of attraction techniques, which is a lot of it's the cognitive replacement therapy, putting positive statements, trying to get a positive flow going with thoughts. And then there's the visioning aspect too. And I can't tell you how many times I've sat with my eyes closed and visioned about things that I want to see manifest in my world. In between you and me, whoever sees this video, I've sat in many meditations with my eyes closed, and I visualized myself playing up on big stages. In the vision, I'm having the best time, just exuding positive energy, and having that translate to the crowd. We just have these incredible moments together. The idea behind that practice is if you can see it in your mind, the body and the universe makes the adjustments. That our connection with God is so powerful that when we can see it in our mind's eye, the dancing, the flowing, the singing, the crowd, the hands in the air, the joy and the atmosphere of the moment, by feeling that, we can bring it into our world. And I haven't manifested that yet, obviously. And I manifested disease instead. So let's keep digging into this video and see where I might have went wrong, or what do I have to learn from all this. So one of my favorite meditations that I've been doing for a long time is to feel for, I call it feeling for the miracle meditations. You're closing your eyes, you're listening to meditation music, and you're trying to feel for something miraculous within yourself, within the interior and exterior of this life experience. If any of y'all have seen the second video that I did, the low tide warrior, when I got ignited with that powerful energy, I felt like I got touched by God. That's the same energy I try to feel for. That was my first big example of what is possible, my first big spiritual moment that I felt something that I've never felt before. Explosion of love inside all of my cells of my body. And that's what I call the feeling for miracles meditation. And to feel our way into joy and well-being. I've done tons of breath work. I've done the Wim Hof breath work for like 6 months straight every day, which is pretty aggressive breathing. And I can get a similar feeling out of that Wim Hof breath work as I do as when I run the hills and do that explosive exercise affirmation technique. You get the breath going with just the Wim Hof, which is power breaths, like 30 in a row, and then you exhale and let all your air out of your lungs, and then you go into affirmation work, prayer work. You can get kind of a similar feeling. And I've done a lot of ecstatic dance, just freestyle dancing by myself, in garages, in hotels, at friends' houses, in the woods, on the beach, at festivals, on stage. And I haven't been doing any freestyle dance lately because I feel so stiff, and I feel like my rhythm has gone down tenfold. But I can still bounce. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So I should start dancing again soon. I'm glad I'm doing this video because it's showing me all the stuff that I've done in the past. I've done meditation workshops, and I've guided many meditations for other people. And finally, I spent thousands and thousands of hours sitting in the void of meditation, just basking in the stillness of no thought, just feeling life, hearing the birds, feeling the energy of the body. For some of y'all out there that have never tried meditation and said feeling the energy of the body, what the heck is that? There's energetic feelings in the body. When I first started having my tremors from Parkinson's, I was so tuned into my body, feeling the sensations, that it really tripped me out. I'm like, whoa, what the heck is going on with me now? And I thought, am I like having a Kundalini experience? Some of my friends that are spiritual people said that maybe I'm having a Kundalini experience, but it didn't feel comfortable. It felt like disease. For a good solid year, I was utilizing all my meditation skills and everything I had to stay grounded and centered, because it was a whirlwind of negativity. Dylan, you've done all these practices and you spent so many hours upon hours in meditation, visioning, affirmations. I mean, I'm a determined person, so when I say I do affirmations, I was doing them. I was carrying cards around with me, reminders that every time I opened my wallet, it was like, oh yeah, do some affirmations. And I didn't need that after a while. I didn't need the cards. I was on automatic pilot. I lived and breathed these techniques. And how did I get Parkinson's after all that? I thought the spiritual journey had power and it could cure disease, and I still believe it can cure disease. I still believe I can get cured, and that's why I'm not on medication, because I trust that there's the answers coming. But all that preparation, all that work I did was preparing me for this disease, because I almost didn't make it. It was so rough from not sleeping for 7 months. I felt like God took away all my power and stripped away everything I had, my abilities to reason, my memory. I got so confused that I almost thought that it was God's will that I'd take myself out of here, because I didn't see a way out. And now, little by little, I've been getting restored. Just enough with some hope, some memory. Memory is just not about remembering if we fed the dog the other day, but memories of feelings. Remembering the essence of joy and wanting to help people and wanting to put together something great and wanting to share that with humanity. Those type of memories are what have been fueling my joy for videos and attempting to write new songs. That my destiny was to come into contact with this Parkinson's and to hopefully overcome it. But if not, to speak out and to share. This life journey is full of surprises, my brothers and my sisters. It has challenged me to my absolute core. So let's keep believing, let's keep trying, because there is magic here. I mean, just think about it. The sun's on fire all day, all night, and never burns out. And we're spinning through the cosmos on this big rock called planet Earth. There is miracles here. There is love here. And it's inside of you, and it's inside of me. Love y'all. Peace out. God bless.
Dancing around, that's what we do. Dancing around, 'cause I love you. We dance around in any town we enter. Winter weather, even better. Bundle up your body, baby, head to your toes. Elevate, escalate. Create the mind you wish to see. It's free. Create the mind you wish to see. It's free. Don't you wonder why you're here? Do you wish to know? It's gonna get rough and rowdy till you do what you came to do. Why are you here? To spread love, 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 light. Why are you here? To make everything right. I am a singer of this vibration. I am a player under God's creation. I am, I am, I am, I am, I am. I am, I am, I am. I am, I am, I am, I am, I am. I am, I am. Working on the highs, embracing the lows. I'm never holding on, so I'm always letting go of the feelings and the insecurities that robs my vision of all of my dreams. Dreaming, oh, I see happiness, joy, peace, love, and bliss when we expand our conscious mind, balance with earth and sea. Intangibilities, thought frequencies, energies, baby, please. We're a collective, change your perspective, be a thought detective.